This is an exploring the breath scan. And the purpose of this exercise is to gather information about your breathing patterns. Remember that this is an exploration and not a pass or fail exercise. So you simply want to bring the body into a comfortable seated position. Just make sure that you have a pen and paper nearby. For the first part of the breath scan, I'll take you into a breath scan addressing different ways of breathing in the body. And you're simply going to take mental note of this. Then after we go through the complete breath scan, I'll invite you to open up your eyes and begin to take notes on what you observed. And what I'll do is I'll repeat the questions that I asked you during the breath scan so that you can take notes specifically to each of those questions. So just remember, you can't do anything wrong. You want to breathe fully but normally. So don't try to change your breathing pattern. You want to breathe in a way that you would normally, effortlessly, and spontaneously breathe without any adjustments. This will give you the most accurate information on your breath. And just watch the mind for judgments. There's nothing to judge. You can't do it wrong. You're simply observing how you breathe. So simply bring your attention into the body and notice, where is the movement of the breath most noticeable? In the lower or the upper body? Simply take note of that mentally. Where is the movement of the breath most noticeable? The lower or the upper body? As a rock is thrown into a pond, it sends ripples from its center. Your breath has a center also. Where does the breath begin? Just notice. Does the breath move in a pattern or cycle? Observe any patterns or cycles to the breath and take internal note. Notice what happens at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Notice the difference between the pauses and their durations. The top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Is there a noticeable difference between the inhale and the exhale? Are they equal or are they different? Just notice. Is the breath smooth and even or jerky and uneven? Or something else? Just notice. Does the breath feel or look shallow, or is it deep and full? Is the breath fast, slow, or in between? I'll invite you to count the number of breaths per minute. So in a moment, we'll start a timer and I'll tell you to begin and simply count how many breaths happen until I invite you to stop. So you may begin now. Begin counting how many breaths are occurring. And that's each breath cycle. So simply count each breath cycle. Okay, you may stop now. So just take note of how many breath cycles happened in that minute. Now describe the quality of your breath. Let words and or images come to you spontaneously. A word or images that describe the quality of your breath. Now, if I asked you to make a circle with your breathing, which way would the circle go? You can open up your eyes if they're closed and just look at the picture on the screen. On the right side, it shows the breath breathing from the lower body upwards and then forward and back down. On the left side of the screen, the picture shows the breath moving from the lower body up and then back and down. Or just take note if the breath would start at the upper body and then circle down. You can even create a circle with your own hand, just to get a feel for and mimic how you feel the breath occurring in the body. It would either circle from the lower body up and then forward and back down, or from the lower body forward and up and then back and down. Now take hold of your paper and your pencil, and I'm going to invite you to write down notes on each point of our investigation. And we'll start with the location of the breath. So the first question that I asked you was, where is the movement of the breath most noticeable? The lower body or the upper body? Just take note of that. Writing that down. And then the origin of the breath. As a rock thrown into a pond sends ripples from its center, your breath has a center also. Where does the breath begin? Just take note of what you noticed in the breathing exercise. Writing that down on your paper. Now the pattern of the breath. Just write down if you noticed the breath move in a pattern or a cycle. The pauses. Notice the difference between the pauses at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale, and their durations. What did you observe? Write that down. The rhythm of the breath. Is there a noticeable difference between the inhale and the exhale, or are they equal? Write down what you observed. The texture of the breath. Did the breath feel smooth and even, jerky and uneven, or something else? Write that down. The depth of the breath. Did the breath feel shallow, or did it feel deep and full? Take note of that. The frequency of the breath. How many full breath cycles did you count in that 1 minute time frame? And if you're unsure, you can rewind and go try it again. The quality of the breath. What were the words and or images that came into awareness to describe the quality that your breath felt like? And finally, which way did the circle go? Did it move from the lower body upwards, then forwards and down? Or did it move from the lower body forward, up, then back and down? Or did it start at the upper body and then work its way down? If you have a consultation with me,
We'll explore together what these breathing patterns mean. You may also watch my video, Understanding Breath and Breathing Patterns. But to get some more clarity right now,
just to give you some feedback on what proper breathing should feel and look like. On average, when we're not meditating and we're just breathing normally, 12 breaths per minute is average. The way that the breath moves in the body, if breathing properly, is from the lower body up, then forward and down for the circle. And what this means is we're using our full lung capacity. The yogis call it a 3-part breath. We spoke about diaphragmatic breathing as well. You want to feel a smooth quality of full, steady breaths in and out, with natural pauses in between each inhale and each exhale. And what this looks like is on the inhale, there's a drawing of the breath all the way down into the lower abdomen. And then the breath begins to rise up as the inhale continues all the way up into the upper chest, so that there's no part of the torso that isn't receiving a felt sense of expansion on the inhale. And on the exhale, there's a natural release from the upper chest back down all the way into the abdomen as the abdomen contracts at the completion of the exhale. And there's a natural pause in between each inhale and each exhale. And so my teacher, Carol Lampman, has created a breathing technique called connected circular breathing. I'm going to guide you through that right now. And this technique, when done for 20 minutes a day, regularly will help you reset any improper breathing patterns. So go ahead and sit nice and tall. Begin to notice the flow of your breath. And just open up the mouth. And with this particular breathing technique, because it's a corrective breathing technique, we're going to breathe in and out through the mouth because we get more oxygen that way. So just begin to breathe in and out through the mouth. Taking a full breath in on the inhale. And on the exhale, just let the breath fall out passively through the mouth, nice and relaxed. Not forcing the breath out. And again, because this is a corrective breathing technique, we're going to connect the inhale to the exhale so that there's no holding of breath in between the inhale and exhale. So at the top of each inhalation, immediately allow the exhalation to arise. And at the bottom of each exhalation, allow the next inhalation to arise. So we're breathing through the mouth. It's an active breath in, a relaxed breath out. We're connecting the inhales and the exhales. And finally, to get that circle moving in the right way, just begin to visualize that on your inhaling breath, you're drawing the breath from the tailbone all the way up the backside of the body to the crown of the head. And on the exhalation, you're just feeling the breath effortlessly cascade forward and down the front side of the body as you let go. And then without pause, immediately inhaling up the back side of the body to the crown of the head. And without pause, effortlessly releasing the breath on the exhale. And again, you can practice this technique for as long as feels appropriate. It's recommended 20 minutes a day, You can also follow the guidance in my other breath video, restorative breathing.
And please remember, this technique is only to be used as a breathing exercise, not used in everyday life. Thank you and have a beautiful day.